Yeah.
Guess who's back?
I love that. I love that new intro theme, man. It's like mellow yellow, man. I was all hyped up. I was like this, and then all of a sudden that music hit, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's why we have it, because sometimes we gotta settle you down because you get a little off the wallish. Well, I'm glad you're out of the witness protection program. We got you back. So
I was gonna say, is it really new? Is it just because he hasn't been here in 2 months or something like that?
It's not really new. It's new to him.
Yeah,
it's new to him. Well, Front Row Wrestling Podcast. Welcome back. I am MrKS. That is Chris, and up there is Mr. Robbie Cutthroat. Welcome back, sir. Good to have you.
Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure to be here. I love you guys.
And if you could have been around for this conversation we had right before we went on, it was.
It's going places, man.
It was going places, but it was about Vince McMahon and Johnny the Rat, Laurinaitis, and all that stuff. So it's
Johnny the Rat. Yeah, that's good. Hello, Franklin. Man,
that's what he is. I mean, if you turn state's witness and start telling on your boy, you're a rat, bro.
That's like mob shit right there when you think about it.
You can't be diddling the shit out, and then I'm a victim, and I'm gonna tell on my boy. Yeah, take that, bro. You was there. Y'all was tag teaming Shorty. You gotta take it. That's what I've learned hanging out with Robbie Cutthroat. Because he gets you in a lot. He gets you in a lot of trouble. You just gotta take it.
Guilt by association. You know what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, it's that guilty by association. You just gotta take it. And of course, the conscience of the show, Mr. Chris up there. Mr. No Means No up there.
No means no.
How many strip clubs have you been to?
0.
There we go.
That explains a lot.
That explains a lot.
I didn't waste my money like that. What are you talking about?
Wait a minute. I don't know what strip clubs.
I never wasted 1 cent.
Never. There was
every dollar was spent. You can see naked women for free online. Why are you going to go throw it at them there?
Back in the, we didn't always have online, Chris. We are old.
You can't spell from online. I'm a perfume guy.
I need my 5 senses at all. I can't just do one.
What you said.
Sight ain't gonna I need to feel it. See, Chris grew up in a good, loving household.
Thank you.
2.3 children.
I'm a wholesome guy.
2.3 children, 1.5 dogs.
See, that's the reason why you like Jey Uso so much. That's what it is. You were corrupted as a child.
What is that? Are you calling Jey Uso corrupted? Is that what you're doing now?
He's corrupted. You're a corrupted person. That's why you like Jey Uso.
I forgot to go live on Facebook. I literally just hit live on Facebook just now.
I was wondering. I was looking for to see that's what I was just looking for. Like, where's the thing at on there?
The conversation went. It just went. I got distracted. Okay, sue me.
It's all right.
Blame
the people. The people will forgive you.
I don't give a rat's ass if the people forgive me or not. It's a new day. So
I got to give you props though. Going all the way back to our WrestleMania preview show, in the weeks leading up to that, we had a lot of discussions about the Jey Uso winning the title and all the dynamics, and I was right along there with Chris. Thinking it wasn't number one. It wasn't going to happen. If it did happen, it was going to be short lived. I don't see Jey being a champion for I don't see him being a champion this time next year. Let's just leave it at that.
Hell no.
But he has, dude. I'm going to say his title defenses and the way he's presented himself since winning the title, he's filling those shoes. He's doing a better job than I could have guessed. He's doing a lot better than guys like Kofi did, or Big E, or even Daniel Bryan, as far as that goes.
I would put him on the same level as Daniel Bryan, not so much wrestling, but as far as
the whole package.
Connecting with the fans and just being generally over. Big E and Kofi, they were over, but they were not. They didn't have the the crowd wasn't hitting like they hit now for Jey Uso. So.
Yeah. It's definitely a phenomenon. You have to recognize phenomenons, and Yeet is a phenomenon, and you can tell that by. I notice every time Jey Uso comes out, Jimmy Uso comes out, it's like you can see the differences. Like I know Jimmy was the chosen one. He was the main event. Jimmy Uso. That was his moniker that he was going to have. Charisma wise.
Since you've seen the wise ways of myself,
the light.
Talk to Chris, because he's still on that LA Knight kick, man. We gotta,
Yeah.
I can always throw out
LA Knight he's just
like
as worthy as Uso. He's just as worthy.
Chris, see, this is what happens when you don't go to strip clubs as a youth. When you don't go to strip clubs in your 20s, you like people like LA Knight.
Right.
Pretenders.
Yeah.
Pretenders. That man is a fake. He's a con. He's a phony. He is not the real deal.
Wow.
Don't blame me, man.
It's amazing how you can say that with such a straight face, and then believe in Jey Uso that way.
Look, I am not. You misunderstand it. It's not the Jey Uso I'm believing in. I am believing in the fact that he connected with the fans. He got over, and they relate to him.
Yeah, dude, he was not. He was.
I mean, he's got people doing that 4 letters, 1 word stuff at graduations, bro.
That's because
you got people. You got your whole crowd singing your song, and I would have to look up the words to know all of those because I'm a meddler. I'm not a rapper. Oos this, oos that. I mean, and these people are singing that shit word for word, man. Little kids that can't even pronounce the word apple are out there rapping that song with them.
And that's the other thing.
It don't take many smart to say the word yeet. I mean,
it don't take many people smart people to say yeah either.
It don't. That's why I said they're equally. They are equal. That's what I'm getting at. Thank you. They are equally as good as the other.
Wind as he backhanded you just now. It's like I was blown back.
He just solidified my point by saying they're both equally as deserving because both of them get the same thing. We got That's what we got.
I love you, Chris, and I love dissing on Ray. And if you had a crowd to hold on to, I would count. But you can't compare LA Knight's crowd reactions to Jey Uso's. You just can't.
The only difference that you guys, they don't dance for LA Knight. He doesn't come down there dancing to the ring either. So I mean, you get what you get out of him.
They don't connect to him like
that.
What would he dance anyway?
He wouldn't be fucking collapsing in the ring, dude.
What kind of dance would he have anyway? I mean, he's white. White people can't dance. There's no rhythm there. He can yell all day long.
What about Vanilla Ice? He can dance. He's white.
Man, he could. He had some moves, man.
Okay. You got the occasional. I guess you got the occasional one.
What about Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch? Those guys.
They're a funky bunch, all right.
Yeah. Hey, look.
You're bringing up some fucking blast from the past there, brother.
He's doing that because Mr. Retro here. That's what he's doing. He's trying to throw that stuff.
No. I don't look my age, and I'm very happy to not look my age. But it was brought to my attention today because on my other Facebook page that this day is the 30th anniversary of my graduation of high school. I've been out of high school 30. I graduated 30 years ago today.
What year?
1995.
I graduated in 93, so I'm
33
years.
I got you both beat.
I was 17 years old, 30 years ago today, graduating high school. So I came up with the Marky Marks and the New Kids on the Blocks and the new
yeah. They were they were hot, dude. Motley Crue was ruling the world with Dr. Feelgood and shit.
Bet you didn't know, Chris. I went to a New Kids on the Block concert.
I don't know if I admit that openly.
I
don't know if I admit that openly, but more power to you, man.
Look, here's the thing you got to understand.
You keep hanging tough over there, okay?
Here's the thing you got to understand about me, Chris. I've been loving the ladies for a long time, and where the ladies are, Where the ladies are, I'm there. So if you're gonna get a bunch of screaming girls at a New Kids on the Block concert, why not go? They can't get with the New Kids on the Block. Get with this kid.
More power to you, man.
You know what I'm saying? There's a method to the madness, Chris. See, Rob, that comes from not going to strip clubs.
You know what? I wouldn't know. Oh, I guess I do now.
I thought we were talking about tag teams tonight.
This is your fault, Chris.
Well, we did. We started off with Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon tag team.
John.
Brock. Oh, I thought Brock Lesnar was innocent.
I don't know all the facts, Chris.
I don't either, but hey.
All I know is you should disclaim all people accused of crimes are innocent until they're judged. I
thought Brock Lesnar just like to watch people pee or something. Wasn't that what it was with him?
See, now we're going to the wrong part of the story now.
Like there's a right part of that
story. Please.
Except for what were you before we got on the air? What were you referring to John Laurinaitis as? Johnny
the Rat.
Johnny the Rat. I love that, dude. When you said that, I got a smile on my face, dude.
There's old Johnny the Rat.
He fits that mold. Get it? See what I did there?
What the hell are we doing with our lives today? So so the two things we're going to get into. First thing was we all compiled our top 5 tag teams of all time. We're going to get into that. The other thing was, do you think AEW is better competition than WWE than WCW was or Jim Crockett Promotions was? We're going to get into that too.
No,
I don't think so.
But before we have this discussion, did anybody catch Raw? Anybody catch SmackDown last night? Any takeaways? Highlights?
I got a problem, dude. I didn't get to watch Monday Night Raw, so on Wednesday I had some free time. Me and my mom usually watch it together, so I put it on Netflix. I couldn't find motherfucker. Usually when I go to Netflix, it's right there. You said new episodes or whatever. Couldn't find it. I put in the search engine WWE Raw, and all I got was the Raw Vault, the Raw Collection, and all the extra stuff. I can't find it.
Did you pay your Netflix bill, Rob?
Oh fuck yeah! I play mine. They take that. They take that They take that $55 or whatever it is. They take 50. It promptly.
What the fuck are you getting on Netflix for $55?
I was exploiting the ridiculousness of the prices.
Oh,
but it might as well be $55 when you're talking. It's like 25 or 27 or whatever it is.
I was gonna say they caught him on one of those nights where he was smoking a bunch or something. I guess they caught him on that night and said, "Let me sell you on this."
Good idea. $55 for Netflix sounds good. No, I pay like.
Sign me up.
I paid $13, I think.
I got the basic one, whatever the basic one is.
I think I paid $13 because I got it on 2 screens because my daughter likes to watch Netflix. So
I got the basic one just so I could watch Raw. So
yeah, I mean, I watch other stuff on there.
It's not over. I think it's like $7 or something like that.
How do you watch Cobra Kai?
Same way I watch Raw when it's on. I mean, it's I pay for the basic. It doesn't mean I can't watch Cobra Kai.
Oh, I thought you just got it. I thought you just got Netflix.
He just gets commercials. I don't get commercials on Netflix. I can't do commercials.
Dude, I got a good I don't know, I throw it out there. I don't want to give somebody a shout out. I don't know who's the owner of it, but I got this cool thing. It's called the IB Pro player on it's you download the app and it's a player on your Roku. And then it goes through this service called Pono Share. And
I thought he was about to say porno share.
No, Pono Share.
Here we go again. Sorry, everybody. The show's going downhill one more time.
3 months for $40, dude, and I get everything. There's not one thing on there I don't get. I even just watched the new Final Destination and the new Karate Kid movie.
I watched the Karate Kid movie, but it wasn't through that site, so a different site.
Yeah, it was a shitty version. I don't know if you got a better version than I did. This has a theater cams section, and Final Destination was HD quality, perfect. But yeah, the Karate Kid movie was blown. It wasn't very good. The audio wasn't very good.
I can't watch it. Karate Kid after the third one, I can't watch no more the Karate Kid movies. They suck.
Well, this one looks like a downer. I don't know. It
I mean,
doesn't
it's
feel like it has that same upbeatness to a
this
Karate
is
Kid.
this is going after the whole Mr. Han thing where they had Will Smith kid in it. So you get the
it's
Mr.
like
Han.
a
You
merge.
get the Mr.
like
Han
Jackie Chan in
character.
this one too.
They're bringing that world into the Cobra Kai world where Han knew Miyagi, and he goes to get Daniel to help him train the kid. That it's one of his students because Han opened up a kung fu school.
Yeah, it crosses over to kung fu in this one too.
So yeah, the kid's a kung fu student, but he brings Daniel in to teach him some basics of karate because he'll need it to win this tournament. It's not bad, but it's not good at the same time.
But if you're I know you're a big guy on nostalgia, with your podcast of retro stuff. So I mean, it's like one of those things. I'm gonna say a movie can be like the 20th sequel, and if I enjoyed most of this series, I'm gonna watch it. I don't even care if it gets like 0 reviews, 0 stars.
That's the thing. The one after Karate 3 sucked. So once you got one chance with me.
Well, the one you talking about, the one with Hilary Swank. The one with the next Karate Kid. That's what I went from Karate 1, Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid 3, and then the next Karate Kid.
Yeah, the next Karate Kid. Yeah, after that, I'm done. So it's like to me, like, but I was almost not. I almost didn't want to watch Beverly Hills Cop 4 because Beverly Hills Cop 3
are you glad you did?
I'm glad I did.
It was fucking bomb,
Beverly Hills Cop 3 sucked ass, bro. That shit was garbage.
Dude, the Axel Foley fucking rock, dude. I watched it. I was like, I'm gonna watch it. Fuck it, if it's not good, I'll turn it off.
I watched it the day it dropped. I
loved it. I fucking loved it, dude.
3 just But no, did anybody catch any takeaways from Raw, SmackDown this week?
Like I said, I didn't see that. And I saw
most of it. Did you see SmackDown?
Yeah, I saw most of it. I saw it up to the the tag team shit where the Wyatts came out.
Oh yeah, I like them bringing them back, man. People be shitting on them and talking about it.
Okay,
I like it
because I got something to say.
Go ahead, let it off your chest, bro. Let it off.
Dude, I just think I mean, I get it. It's just, to me, it's so obviously exploitive. Dude, they don't have they give them a little thing with the Gable thing, and then they disappear, and then they show up right on Bray Wyatt's birthday. Give the tribute to Bray, sell about 500 million T-shirts, and then they're going to give them a little week run, and I guarantee you it won't last more than a week or two, and then they'll go back into the sunset. And
do you know why they disappeared?
Then, now they suck.
No,
I like Gabe.
Which guy was hurt?
Yeah,
I think
the guy was hurt. The one plays Uncle Howdy was hurt, so they didn't put the rest of them on TV either.
Yeah, Bo was hurt.
Well, that was hurt and injured.
So he can't come out and do his little thing.
He couldn't walk, bro.
He couldn't wheel him out in a fucking rocker. Do I got to get into creative now? Do I got to tell these people fucking what to
do? There's no. Rob don't call off sick at his job.
The new kids today, they're just going to be sitting there holding their little
Rob goes to work with a headache. He goes to work with a broken leg. He don't give a shit.
They're going to be the little kids and the little youngsters are going to be holding their little crotches, like waiting to go pee, waiting for the Wyatts to come out. Or guys like us know when something's like sinking. If it's hot, it's on the TV. When it's not, but it's only hot when Bray Wyatt's birthday is on. Then all of a sudden he's better.
They came back the week before, but they came back the week before his birthday. It wasn't just the day of his birthday.
On Bray's birthday. How convenient.
It wasn't just the day of his birthday. They came back a week earlier too.
That was when they showed up. They had brought the cake.
Rob is not cutting the mini slack.
Were they not there a week earlier than his birthday?
They came back on his birthday.
I thought they came back the week before that and cleared the ring of all the tag teams or something.
That was last night.
Yeah, that was last night. They did the same thing last night. And so then again, like no originality. The lights go off and everyone.
I beg you, Chris, go to the strip club, get some boobies shaking your face, man. Go to the strip club.
I'm sorry, I'm jaded when it comes to gimmicks like that.
Spend $10 and get yourself together, bro.
Listen, go. Why don't you watch a New Kids concert?
Motherfucker. Where are we going? I thought we were all friends.
look, you listen. You guys got I can't quit laughing at what we're doing here because we ain't talked about wrestling yet. I don't think
we're talking
about Johnny Ace.
You got a viewer up there watching right now wondering we got to talk about wrestling at all.
Who is it?
Maybe they're just entertained by what we're talking about now.
It's possible.
I like to think we're entertaining a bunch of guys. I like to think. I could be wrong. Yeah. Okay, Chris. Chris wants to talk wrestling. Let's get into the top 5 tag teams list. Since Mr. Chris wants to talk. You know what Chris wants to talk about? He wants to put over his precious Fantastics. That's what
I don't have the Fantastics on my list. No.
But you're gonna bring them up.
No, I'm not gonna bring the Fantastics up nowhere. No.
Okay. Well, certain
Tommy Rogers are not on my list.
Hey, you know what? I've been meaning to
Here he goes.
Do you remember, like when we met? Do you remember we met in a wrestling chat? We met in a wrestling page, and
are you going to bring up Dylan Hines
at the same time when I was trolling Dylan Hines?
Yes,
and
I knew it.
I heard that guy got shady.
I've heard some things about him too. I don't know if it was true or not because his dad was trying to defend him out there for a while. But all fathers are going to do that. So
I have no idea who this Dylan Hines guy is.
To say about him.
I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dylan Hines. That's Bobby Fulton's son.
Yeah, Bobby Fulton's son. When we encountered him, he was like, 13, 14 years
old?
So
you may not remember.
What are you talking about? Wait.
I'm talking about when I met Chris. Hold up,
Rob. Hold up.
Chris, I was in a group. I was in a wrestling group.
Yeah.
And Dylan Hines was in that group. And I know commenting about something. And then I found out he was Bobby Fulton's son. And, I think it was about the time we were doing our podcast and stuff. And so I was like, hey, maybe I can get your dad. I know Chris ended up getting an interview with Bobby, but we were talking to this Dylan guy, basically, he was, I don't even remember what he was talking about. I was disagreeing with him. Imagine that. And
imagine that.
How I like go from like, I don't agree with you to like, fuck, I'm going to get a picture of you. I'm going to put a weenie on it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It didn't go that far. It didn't go that far.
Who is worse? Right? Who was worse? Rob?
Oh yeah, dude! I had Billy Jack.
Mr. Magic Mike. I mean, which one was it? Which one was worse?
Is it Rob or Johnny the Rat? Who's worse, Rob or Johnny the Rat?
What the fuck did you just say to me?
He compared you to Johnny the Rat. It sounded like
I did not compare. I said who's worse. I did not compare. I said,
Ray, did you hear about about the current troubles that Billy Jack Haynes is having, right?
Oh God, Jesus.
Oh, he's been having troubles for like 50 years, man. Come on.
No, right? He's like in a mental institution right now, trying to get restored to sanity so he can face murder charges. Right. Imagine, I'd be crazy if I was him.
He ain't lying though. He's true.
That guy.
We should get Fred. Hey, we need to get Fred Peggs in here. He'll tell you all about Billy Jack Haynes drinking that motor oil.
Between him and Marty Jannetty. I don't know who's whacker.
Ray knows the story, dude. I was hitting up Billy because we were starting our podcast, and I was trying to get Billy Jack Haynes to do an interview. So I sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, I've been following your stuff." It was right after he did that Stone Cold's a pussy thing. And I was like, dude, you got some. And he was talking about Vince McMahon being Chris Benoit's kid's father, and McMahon, like, he did the hit and shit. And he was doing all this crazy shit. And so I was like, Billy, I go, man, I'd really like to have an interview with you on my podcast. And I'm like, dude, you got some crazy ass shit, dude, and I'd love to hear your side of it. And he sent me back, that's not a real good way to like hit somebody up to do an interview saying their shit's crazy. And I was like, he ended up.
He's crazy.
Like, well, you want to do the show? And this was before people got paid for podcasts. I know more now people, it's a thing. People get paid for podcasts. But I was just like, hey, man, do you want your opportunity to like tell your side of the story? And he's like, if I told you the things that I know, my life would be in danger. And you expect me to do that for free? And I was all like, so you want to get paid and
to put your life in danger?
So I go, you're saying you want money? And then he immediately called. He goes, you know what? You're a fucking mark. And he blocked me. And that was the end of it.
Wow.
There's that word, man. There's that word. Your favorite word. There it is.
Ray, take control of your show.
Somebody called me a mark with a podcast, and I told him, once you figure out what the word mark actually means, get back to me.
Yeah.
Here's how you know if you're a mark. If you're calling somebody else a mark, you're a mark. There you go. There you go. Top 5 tag teams, Mr. Chris. Do you want to
are we going at one at a time, or are we putting all 5 of them out there?
Throw all 5 of them out there so I can tell you how all 5 of them are not top 5 tag teams.
Oh, no. See, that's why I asked you earlier. I said you got to specify. Are we talking about who the top 5 actually are, or 5 of our favorites?
Two.
Chris, I could argue that and say if they're my favorites, I must think they're the best.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So the top 5.
So
top 5.
My top 5 favorite tag teams that I think I've watched over the years. I got the Midnight Express on there, and you can say that's anywhere from Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condrey to Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. Either one, they were both equally as good to me. I got the Steiner brothers. There's no way you can't have the Steiner brothers on there. All right, the Road Warriors are the greatest tag team of all time, hands down. They've been everywhere and won everything. And then I've got the Rock and Roll Express, because they're very innovative for tag teams over the years and influenced a lot of other tag teams. And then I got my favorite tag team of all time on there, because I'm a Memphis boy, or I'm not from Memphis, but grew up watching Memphis wrestling, which was the Fabulous Ones, not the Fantastics, Steve Keirn and Stan Lane, because they went toe-to-toe, bloody brawls with the Moondogs, the Sheep Herders. I mean, you name it, the ones that come through. Between Memphis Wrestling and AWA, they did it all with them. So, I mean, they're the same thing as the Rock and Roll Express as far as being a tag team to, how's they refer to the Rock and Roll Express? You remember Ric Flair used to say, you like the little teeny boppers, I like the women, you like the little girls. Well, pretty much every woman in the crowd is yelling for them, and pretty much every guy in the crowd wanted to be them. So, I mean, because all the women were wanting them, and they were tough as nails. That's my 5.
That Ricky Morton can take an ass whooping. I'll give you that.
Well, Ricky Morton, you talk about selling. Ricky Morton sells, man. He got people he got people feeling so bad for him. When they finally tag Robert Gibson in, they go nuts.
I remember when Ric Flair rubbed his face into the actual floor.
Yeah.
One
of my favorite memories of NWA when it was in the studio there is Ric Flair confronting the Rock and Roll Express, mainly Ricky Morton, and he said he brings out a training bra and says, one of my girls said to give this to you because you like the little girls. I like the women, you like the little girls. And they get into a brawl, the two of them do, right there in the studio.
The things you can get away with in the 80s, boy, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You probably shouldn't be able to do that on TV right now. I don't think you should put out a training bra and say you like little girls on the TV.
Well, I remember when Ric Flair, would walk right up to somebody in the front row and be like, say that again and I'll JAP slap you.
Yeah.
My father used to say that.
Yeah. A lot of people used to say that.
My dad used to say a lot of shit.
I don't know what the hell happened to this nice little innocent show. Okay.
This is not, it's not innocent, Ray.
Oh boy.
We're in the front row. We fucking say what we feel.
There you go. I feel you. I'm not with you on the Fabulous Ones. Not my cup of tea. And I like the Midnight Express, but I don't like them enough to put them in the top 5. But I'm not saying they didn't contribute or didn't have status in wrestling accomplishment.
Right.
I just not in my top 5. Rob, what you got?
Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom. work to the top. I give the 5th place of my favorite tags teams to a kind of an obscure one because these guys mainly did their work in Japan. But when they were big in Japan because these guys were both big fucking tough dudes. They fucking were stiff as fuck, and they could go with the Japanese people back then when it was all basically, I don't know, man, it was as real as wrestling could get in the back then. Terry Bam Bam Gordy of the Freebirds teaming up with Steve Dr. Death Williams. Fucking crazy tag team. I seen some fucking insane matches against people couldn't tell you who they were even wrestling, but they were fucking insane matches, dude. That's what I was saying. But no, crazy matches. So that left a big impression on me. Terry Gordy, dude. When I first started watching wrestling, he was the UWF champion, and Steve Dr. Death was he was a big face in UWF at the time. That was Watts's UWF. And I just remember, like, when I was reading in the magazines and I hear that they were a tag team in Japan, I was just like, oh, man, it just blew my mind. Next, at 4th, I put the Brainbusters, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson. First start watching wrestling, reading the wrestling magazines. To me, the 4 Horsemen were professional wrestling. And when it came to tag teams, Tully and Arn were like the premier technicians. When they came to WWE, I was very, very excited, dude. They were, to me, Tully's one of the greatest wrestlers ever. Arn, one of the best technicians ever. Their psychology, the way they did things, dude, I can't not love them. Okay, going up on net 3rd, kind of like in the same regards to the Brainbusters. This team, dude, produced one of the biggest stars in the sport, dude. Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, the Hart Foundation. I remember them. First memories I have really of the Hart Foundation. I'd seen them around, wrestling in matches, and then they were in the Battle Royal, and they ended up, Neidhart and Bret were the last 3 in the ring with Andre the Giant, and they went on to win the tag team titles, and Bret Hart went on to do what he did. So Hart Foundation, number 3. Number 2, in regards to the greatest tag teams in the world, I know you're always talking about Road Warriors and Rock and Roll Express and stuff. I think this team might be, if they'd have a real good shot at the top 2, Steiner brothers, dude. No one can deny the way they changed the game, dude. The way Scott Steiner changed the game when it came to high impact aerial wrestling. Frankensteiner's, all the
suplexes.
Yeah, dude. And then number 1, dude, my favorite tag team of all time, the one I fucking love, Demolition. From the minute they came out, Axe and Smash, dude. I know they were Road Warrior wannabes, and I even called them that.
You must have been reading my mind. I was thinking about whether I should say it or not.
but you know what? I never thought they were, bro. I never thought they were.
They weren't. They were. I mean, I'm looking at things. They couldn't get the Road Warriors, so they got Demolition. And they weren't Demolition before Vince made them Demolition.
The Powers of Pain are more wannabes than Demolition.
Yeah. But as far as I think the power of Axe and Smash, dude. I mean, Smash would go out there and he would slam King Kong Bundy. He would slam Earthquake. He would slam Akeem. He was really strong. Psychology wise, they were just a more technical tag team than the Road Warriors, who just went out. I love clotheslines and power slams and brute force moves, but to me, Demolition was my favorite tag team. Me and my buddies would go to school and we'd find the littlest guy we could. We'd run up to him. We'd double clothesline him, and then we throw him on the ground and we would do the double pound on him. So Demolition. My top 5.
It's a good, respectable top 5.
Imagine that. Rob likes double pounding people. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
I didn't even go there. I can't believe that, Ray. I'm offended.
The Arn and Tully pick was one that I debated with. I really wanted to put them on there, but if we're talking like favorites, I didn't want to put them as my favorites. So they were definitely a great tag team, though. They should be in the top 5 of all time as far as true greatest tag teams.
Yeah. I think we should take. I know Ray got to give us his 5, but I think we should maybe not. If we don't do it this week, we should do it next week. We should do top 5 tag teams, modern day tag teams, present day.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
My top 5 of all time is a mixture of modern and old school. 'Cause I grew up again, born in the 70s. Started watching wrestling around 83, 84. Probably earlier than that. Yeah, probably about 82, 80, yeah, about 82. And I watched it wrestling to this day. So my team, my list is a little
More
mixture of both.
diverse.
Yeah. So not in any particular order. I don't want to rank them. I'm just my top 5. And you know, some y'all have already picked, like the Steiner brothers. You know, again, brother tag team. When they were doing things I had never seen teams do before. Especially like you said with the Frankenstein, to be that big and that athletic. You know what I'm saying? To be that
It was
muscular.
scary. It was scary to watch him do it.
Yeah. And then I was already a fan of Rick. I didn't even know Rick had a brother.
Yeah, until he showed up with the
Yeah, so
mullet.
I was used to Rick in the varsity club, and you know him with the little hand thing, you know, being a little
Where-
cuckoo.
So was WCW the first place you saw Scott Steiner?
Yeah, he was there right when they
UWF.
started calling it WC. When they
him-
started, I didn't see him in UWF. I saw him
Yeah,
before.
No,
I
Rick-
saw him
him-
when they first
Rick
started calling
Steiner.
him.
There was
was
Eddie
UW.
Gilbert.
That was Rick Steiner.
Yeah, that was
Hot
Rick Steiner
Stuff
too.
Riot
Eddie Gilbert.
International.
Yeah, that was Rick Steiner. But I'm talking about Scott Steiner. I didn't see him till like when I first seen, he didn't have a singlet. He had like the yellow tights and no knee pads and all. He just looked like a big muscular action figure.
USWA is where I first saw Scott Steiner.
Yeah, I didn't see.
He was
I
just
didn't
breaking
see him.
in, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, Steiner brothers. Arn and Telly. I'm a Full Horseman fan. So Arn and Telly, like I said, you talk about the Hart Foundation. I think Arn and Telly were the best, well-tuned tag team where everything just clicked. They didn't have to talk about it. They knew what each other were going to do. They knew if Tully started working on an arm, Arn went back to that same arm. If Tully went to a leg, Arn went to that leg. You know, they got you down. They worked about it, and everybody they fought was bigger than them. Everybody, you know, they came up fighting the Road Warriors, Powers of Pain, the Russians, all them guys. So they handled their business. What is my son doing up there? Third team, another brother tag team, the Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
Again, big guys, athletic. They didn't back down from nobody. They fought everybody. Win or lose, you knew you was in a fight with them. And at the end of the day, I think they went through a lot. You know, me and Rob, you know, we talked about Stevie Ray a couple of years ago, and you know, we heard some stories, and to go through what they went through and still come out as a Hall of Fame tag team, you know.
Yeah, I would say I think you can look it up. I think don't they have the record? Oh, what they have they're up there on the records for the most NWA WCW tag belts.
Yeah,
they're right up there.
Yeah.
WCW tag titles, I believe. They don't. I don't think they include the NWA titles with the WCW.
Well, I do, Chris.
Well, I mean, to us, it's the same organization we grew up watching.
Yeah.
If you're going by
NWA
official record, I don't think they do it by official record though.
Right, I agree. Yeah, you're right, but wrong.
Steiner's Arn and Telly, Harlem Heat.
Right, however you want to put it.
Steiner's Arn and Telly, Harlem Heat. Number 4. I'm gonna go with the Usos.
Of course.
Hey, look, say what you want. say what you want.
No, Usos have been a great tag team over the years. I take nothing away from them as a tag team.
It's a great tag team, and again in the same vein of Arn and Telly and Harlem Heat and the Steiners working together. They know where each other's at in the ring. They don't have to do too much talking. They weren't so much pick a body part and work it. They would just fly and do what they got to do.
You knew I was going to say something to you though, just out of fun.
But,
no, they're a great tag. They're a great tag team. They're a great tag team.
Haters gonna hate. You know, it's all good.
I'm not hating on the tag team.
But my goat, my greatest tag team of all time.
So you did put them in some kind of order, huh, Ray?
No, I just say I didn't put them in order. I'm just saying I'm just my greatest tag team of all time. I did. Gotta be the Road Warriors, bro. Gotta be. Now you talking about Rob? You know, at school playing. So I know y'all know I have an uncle that's 10 years older than me. I also have a cousin who is 3 years older than me, and them two always hung out together. So naturally, I'm hanging out with them. I come from the era where we used to take cardboards and make them into belts, and then wrap them in aluminum foil, and then take a belt and take a belt and tape it to the inside of the cardboard so we could actually wear it, or go get my grandma's clothespins, and and my uncle could draw, so he drew the globes and stuff on the belt.
Glued on the cardboard, and my mom would fucking go wear my plates.
Now, are you guys paying attention to the Facebook chat? We have a listener who has their favorite tag teams on there.
Who is it, and what is
that?
It
Would be Julie on there, and
Julie Bailey, Julie the Southern
Julie
Heart.
Has, some of her favorites. She has DX on there.
I gotta give her some credit right now. She just won my fantasy wrestling EFED group where we do promos. Dude, she just made history. She did the longest promo in wrestling EFED history. Fucking girl promoed. I'm not lying. You can go to the page and look. IW Alpha, bitch. And I say that with all due respect. Promoed for 14 hours. Did a 14-hour promo.
Julie, I don't know you at all, but do you sleep?
I'm about to say, did she take part of that promo?
Not that night, she didn't.
Look, wow. I do think she might have misspelled a name of somebody here, unless there was actually a tag team called the Stoners. And if so, I think Rob was probably half of that tag team.
I think she meant the Steiners.
I do too.
I would say she thinks she meant the Steiners.
DX, the Hart Foundation. I'll say the Steiners and the Usos. What she's got on here. So that's
when she says DX, she means Road Dogg, Jesse James, and
the New Age Outlaws.
Probably New Age Outlaws. Yeah,
probably.
But yeah,
we all three left a great tag team out though, and I almost
hold on. Let me finish my Road Warriors thing. So my grandmother had. My grandma had these couches, right? They had the two big long pillows, the back pillows, and we would do the doomsday device off of with those damn pillows. Like I'm literally jumping off my grandmother's couch, clotheslining a pillow. And look, my grandma had project housing. Those are hard ass floors. They weren't wood floors. Those hard floors, bro.
Hard tile floors.
These fucking floors had concrete underneath them. It was vinyl over top of concrete. There was no carpet padded. Fuck, my grandma had no damn carpet. We went and got that runner carpet and tacked that to the steps. No damn carpet. But yeah, we did the doomsday device. I'm telling you, dude, you talking about almost breaking your neck and almost crashing through your grandmother's living room table. Who
were you, Animal or Hawk? So you were Hawk, right?
I told you I had my uncle and my cousin, so I was Precious Paul.
Oh.
Yeah, that was me. I was Precious Paul. Rob, you are giggling way too much about it.
I'm not even high, man. I chose to be on this podcast instead of driving to Liberty Lake.
You could have been anywhere in the world, but he chose to be with us, Chris.
I chose to be. I could be high, right? I could be high, right?
Don't feel special.
I feel special. Yes, I do. I feel special. Yeah, but you guys know we did leave a great tag team out. All three of us did.
Valentine and Beefcake. I agree.
The Dudleys.
They are a great tag team, but here's my problem with the Dudleys. I don't mind you telling me you're a great tag team, but if every time I see you, you got to say you're the greatest tag team, bro.
That's Bully Ray right there, and then he's always.
Dude, we know you won titles everywhere and we know, bro. We get it.
What gets me is he claims them being better than the Road Warriors.
Ain't no way in
but
hell. If it weren't,
It's
if it
great
weren't
that
for
you
the Road
believe in
Warriors, they would.
yourself.
If it weren't for the Road Warriors, there'd be no Dudleys, bro.
Look, it's great that you believe in yourself, but you're not better than the Road Warriors.
Ain't no way in hell.
Just not.
That's
No way.
that's
I'll
black.
agree with you on
That's
that.
black. That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy right there. You can't say that. Stop it.
Yeah, the best work Bubba Ray Dudley ever did in his whole fucking career, and it was TA when he was Bully Ray and he was the leader
Aces
of
and Eights.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that shit. That shit
That was-
had me. I was watching every week, wanting to
It
know.
was a good angle, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was really good, and then they got Bischoff's son involved, Garrett.
The Aces,
remember?
Aces and Eights, they was good when it first started, but then they went.
Oh,
the
it got
route
watered
of-
down. Yeah,
because they went the route of the NWO and started adding too many people. Everybody,
Yeah.
and then when he came, like I will say this: Aces and Eights was better before Bully Ray got in it because it didn't make no sense. Like they beat him up, and then he became the leader.
Didn't they reveal that he was the mastermind behind it the whole time? They just did the
Yeah, but
beating
they
thing
beat
to
him.
throw people off.
But that didn't make no sense.
I mean,
they don't-
that's what they did, though. I mean, that they said he was a part of the group the whole time. He just did that to throw everything off, so no one would suspect him, so they could get Hogan.
I mean, just imagine going, "Hey guys, I know I'm the leader, right? You want to throw everybody off? Whip my ass." What?
I would do it for the sport.
Oh God!
Look, hey, look at current
Right.
product right now. Look at current product right now, and think about Sami Zayn. Look at how people keep showing us these things about how when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield, they keep showing Sami Zayn looking at similar things, like he's looking sideways a little bit behind CM Punk. You thought he's going to jump Jey Uso the night he come out
but
there and congratulate him one night.
That's turning on somebody. He's not going to.
But he's taking beatings from Rollins and the group. I mean, he's taking beatings from them right now. So if he's taking beatings on TV from them and suddenly joins them,
I don't.
that's what
think
some
Triple-
people are talking about. They're talking about
That's
him
why some.
joining that
That's
group.
why. That's why some people don't need to be. They need to just watch wrestling and not talk about
Yeah,
it.
because
But it's done in the past, though.
If it happens,
Who
they
did-
can
who-
analyze
who-
it. They can
It's been.
analyze
It was
how
like I can't remember when somebody got beat up and then joined them.
We just talked about Bully Ray giving up that beating on TV.
I'm talking about. I'm
like
talking
all the
about.
time.
Yeah, I'm talking about after
I
that.
got you, man. They
That was
beat up
dumb.
they were beating up. They were fucking killing Big Show. They were fucking power bombing, almost breaking his neck and shit. And then he joined the NWO.
And that was dumb as shit too.
Same with Lex Luger.
That was dumb as shit.
That was the
Same
thing with
with
NWO,
Steiner.
though. You were either with them or you wasn't. If you wasn't,
with
they
the
beat you up, and
Steiners.
eventually they brought you in.
Same with Harlem Heat.
But see, here's the difference. It's one
Or
thing.
at least
There's
Stevie.
one thing. It's one thing saying if you can't beat them and join them. It's another thing getting your ass whipped and becoming a leader. That's what the fuck.
So that was done for Bully Ray. You're talking about because he was listed
Yeah.
as the leader, but they just didn't kick. They just didn't kick his butt, and then he suddenly become the leader. He was the leader the whole time. That was the story.
Which is why it's dumb. Either way, it's dumb.
You could call it dumb, or you could call it brilliant because you're throwing everybody off the track
Yeah,
and thinking he's a part of it.
That makes.
How well are you going to
Come
prove
on,
somebody's
Chris,
not
Chris,
against-
Chris.
with them if
We're not wrestling, right? We're not doing wrestling. We're doing a movie, right? We're doing a street game movie,
drama.
not a biker club, just a normal street game, right? And I come to you with the script and I say, okay, now this guy's the leader, but he's going to throw everybody off because they're going to shank him in jail.
Shanks a lot for bringing that up. I mean, that's pretty stupid. No, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing we're talking about.
Okay,
So
well, if
we're
I bring
talking
it,
about sports entertainment and gang warfare.
I think you had too many. Hey, I think you had
I don't
too
know
many
if
years
Ray
of.
knows the difference.
Well, listen,
that's not an insult.
I think you had too many years of the gobbledygooker and the Duke the Dumpster and everything else going on to really appreciate wrestling in the background.
Didn't I say I graduated in 95? So if I was 17 years old in 95, in 1993 I was 15. Last thing I was doing at 15 was looking at Duke the Dumpster Drosy, bro.
No.
Look,
I'm sure you still watch it.
I watch wrestling, but here's the thing. I didn't watch wrestling every Monday night or every Saturday morning or whenever it came on. Because again, when I was from the age of 13 to 17, we had clubs, underage clubs that we can go to and go see live bands play on Monday nights, on Wednesday nights, on Friday nights, on Thursday nights, on Saturday nights. Where'd Rob
Oh,
go?
we lost Rob.
So when wrestling was on, I was probably at a club.
There he comes
I
back.
didn't give a damn about Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Sorry about that, guys.
We lost you.
He
I
looks
lost
so
my green
presidential now.
screen.
Look, yeah. All we see is the green screen now.
He looks so presidential now, don't he?
I don't know what the fuck happened.
You look very important. So that was an interesting discussion about top 5 tag teams. If you agree with us, thank you. If you disagree with Chris and his list, I understand. If you disagree with Rob and his list, I understand. But if you disagree with me, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Well, that's typical, I tell you. That's just typical.
Hey, So we're gonna start bringing this home a little bit. I threw the question out there, and both of y'all immediately said no. AEW, are they better competition than JCP or WCW? You say no. Why do you say no? Why do you say no?
Because there were greater wrestlers and better stories and stuff, or if you want to call it stories or angles, however you want to refer to it.
But when I say competition, I mean like did WWE does WWE fear AEW like they feared JCP?
No.
Or do they fear? Well, some would say yes because they're doing all this counter
That's
programming.
because the ones who say that, or I feel the ones that say that are the ones that wasn't around to appreciate WCW back in the earlier days. We appreciate WCW more because it was NWA first and carried over to WCW whenever they combined with UWF wrestling. Whenever they bought Bill Watson.
We watched it in real time. We didn't have to go back and watch. It's not like we're 30 and going back and watching clips.
They were already
actually happened.
They were also already established, and they had a long running thing going on with people that they could fall back on and make. And then plus they brought in more when WWF started losing their people, and Hogan come over, and then Macho Man come over, and eventually you seen Bret Hart come over, and all these people. It started getting a little more interesting too with them because now you had a little bit of what you got used to seeing with WWF, and you still had the stuff. If you were a big WCW fan, that was great to you. You had the best of both going on, and they made something really special for a while, especially with that invasion angle of the outsiders. That just kind of started it from there. Yeah, but it was AEW doesn't have anything like that they can do. And plus, they ain't got, we've touched a million times already, they don't have anybody that can write an interesting angle for them.
Yeah, Ray, I can wrap it all up like in a nice little neat package for you. It's all about wrestling kings sit on their thrones on Monday night. AEW, if they thought they were competition for WWE, they would go head to head with them and let the chips fall where they may. They know where the chips are going to fall. You take TNA, you take WCW around the time Nitro launches, dude. They thought they could go, and they did. For 83 weeks, they fucking rolled over WWE. TNA, when Hogan and Bischoff came in, same concept. They went head to head with WWE. Did it work out for them? No, but they thought they could and for a little while, as a fan, being that there was a lot of good wrestling going on, look where TNA is now. No, just no.
But even TNA
knows it's a sideshow.
But even
it's a sideshow. They don't think they're good as WWE. Even they don't, because if they did, they would go head to head. Monday night, they would say we're going to get better ratings than Raw on Monday night, and they won't do it.
Well, I'm gonna defend AEW. I know that's shocking to Chris, but I'm going to defend AEW for a little bit. And Rob talked about going head to head, and it's Chris and both. Well, you and Rob know I'm a wrestling fan, but I also like to, because we have certain discussions with people. I like to know. I don't get into a discussion without knowing what I'm talking about because I don't want you. But the last thing I want is for one of these internet idiots to think they're smarter than me. Because no.
Absolutely.
So when Ted Turner went when WCW Nitro went head up with WWE, Ted Turner was running the company. He could actually say he can put shows where he wanted to put them. Tony Khan ain't got that power. He may want to do it.
He's a billionaire.
But he don't. He don't.
He could go to ABC and say, "I'm going to give you X amount of dollars. Put me on Monday nights 8:00."
He could, but is ABC? Does ABC need him to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
They can
ABC.
I don't know. I don't watch anything. I don't remember the last time I watched anything on ABC. So I don't. Yeah, maybe.
But trust me, ABC's got plenty of viewership. They don't need Tony Khan to come say, "Hey, I'll give you $10 million, or I'll give you not even $1 billion." They don't.
Take your top 3 networks: ABC, NBC, CBS. None of them are going to turn around and let you. They're not going to give you a time slot for something that's not proven to be a worthy thing for that time slot.
They're not going to give you. They're not going to give you prime time airing for a show that's only going to get 500 or 600,000 people to watch it.
So they don't have. So they don't. So mind you, Ted Turner bought WCW, but he was also the owner of CNA and loved wrestling and all that stuff. If AEW doesn't have the lobbying power to get people to back them up that have those things, then that tells me even more they're not competition.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Why isn't there somebody
I was just trying
that owns a network that says, or why doesn't Khan make his own network up? He's a fucking multi-billionaire. Why doesn't he invest and drop some of these wrestlers that are talentless, and why doesn't he make some deals? And if he's because you don't have the viewership, you don't
does he look like he's mentally stable to go into an office and have that conversation, bro?
Yeah, I believe AEW, I'm ignorant about AEW, a lot of it, except for what I know, which I see. And last time they had any real notoriety worldwide was when they did the All In Wembley. And the only reason that went off like it did was because CM Punk was there.
There you go. But to this whole counter programming point that
fuck Monday Night Football.
No,
I don't have nothing to do with wrestling.
No, I'm talking about what Tony Khan said when he came out and said, WWE was running shows at the same time that AEW was running shows to compete with them or to steal their viewership. Here's the thing: if anybody knows, or let's just get back to what I'm saying, but when I have these discussions, I like to know what I'm talking about because I like wrestling, but I also like the business side of wrestling too. I'm interested in that. I don't know it all, but I like to educate myself. You can't just look on a calendar and say, "Oh, it's January," and I see in June, I see in June or July that they're doing All In. So let's book a Saturday night's main event for the same weekend. It don't work that way, bro. You can't just do that. These buildings, these shows have been booked more than months in advance. Some of this stuff you got to scout these buildings. You got to find an open date. You got to work out logistics. You got to work out planning. You got to move people. You got to move stages. You got to move equipment. You got to set up satellite and feeds, and more importantly, you have to have a time slot.
Yeah.
You have to have
but I want to go back to that comment that guy made because I didn't get to see it all because it just kind of popped on the screen. But he said Monday is a football night. Yeah, it's also a wrestling night. It might be busy. Yeah, Friday night versus Saturday is different. I kind of agree with that too. You got not only does AEW have a chance to go head to head with WWE on Monday nights, but they also got a chance to go head to head with WWE on Friday nights. So I totally agree with your comment, Timmy.
That's only if TBS or TNT gives them that night. They can ask for it.
So they don't deserve it.
That is your point. To your point, if you're not moving numbers on the night you're already on, money, is it going to really matter if I switch nights with you, or is it going to hurt you if I put you up against? You know what I'm saying? Look at it like this. Look at the numbers.
I don't think AEW wants it.
Look at the numbers. Let's say they give the model 750 every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, model 750,000, right? And they say I want to compete. Does it help if I'm giving you 750,000 on a night where there's no other wrestling on, and I put you on Friday nights where they getting almost 1.5, 1.4. If I put you up against that, are some of those same people that's watching SmackDown, do they watch AEW? And if you put them up head to head, which one are they going to watch? So that might, to your point, going head to head might.
That goes all the way back to the whole premise of this whole conversation. Is AEW competition like WCW was? No. And I think we've all, even in you defending AEW, I think we've all agreed.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to help them out.
I appreciate that.
People, namely Chris, will tell me you're an AEW hater, and you just shit on AEW and because you're a WWE fan. No, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, bro. Facts is facts.
Very rarely does he give them the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes he'll try.
I said I try. Where there's no doubt to give them, I can't.
Let me ask both of you something right now. You asked for the competition, okay? What would it take, in your opinion? Who would it take? We'll say, who would you say they need to go get that they could make them competition?
They couldn't.
For first of all, there's nobody out there to go get.
I'm not talking about.
I'm not talking about
talent.
They get guys every day, every week.
I'm talking about talent. I'm talking about talent. I'm talking about behind the scenes.
For all the years that
there's nobody out there to get.
They've gotten people, and
I'm not talking about talent, Rob. I mean, like what he just said. Then I'm talking about behind the scenes to make the anything from the writing to the presentation.
There is nobody out there to go get behind the scenes. Who's out there?
I don't personally know who could do
everybody that's worth their salt to go help behind the scenes is either aged out or working in WWE or one of the companies that's working with WWE.
Who could you poach from WWE then that would make it better? Because that happens. There's headhunters.
Nobody.
People to bring in.
Unless WWE fires somebody, you're not poaching anybody.
Production people, not talent, but people behind the scenes.
Unless WWE fires somebody. I don't care if you're getting a WWE paycheck. Unless WWE fires you, you're not poaching anybody.
You ain't going nowhere, brother, unless you're discarded already. Nobody's going to
But my question is not, would they leave and go there? Is there somebody that you think is talented enough that could turn that place around?
I'm even gonna say, like,
there is nobody.
Talent wise, like, look at Edge. Edge went. You could say a lot of people could argue, well, Edge left WWE and went to AEW, and then another person can say, well, Edge had ran his course and he was basically told that. And then he wasn't ready to hang it up, and he wanted to go hang out with his friend, and that's why he went over there. He didn't go over there because they got us. He didn't go over there because he saw greener pastures. Maybe he did, but his gig was up in WWE, and he knew it. And so,
the green that he saw was money. It wasn't a greener pasture. It was green money.
To answer your question, Chris, here's the thing. Here's why I say there's nobody who that can go from WWE to go over there, because AEW is what it is. Everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
There's already a perception there. There's 6 years worth of perception. You can't just wash away these last 5 to 6 years, bro. People already have it's just like ECW. Okay, it's the same thing with ECW. Everybody thought ECW was just hardcore trash wrestling. That was the perception. So that's why they didn't get bigger than it wasn't because of the talent, or it wasn't because Paul Heyman wasn't paying people. It was none of that. It was because people already had a perception of ECW. It wasn't going to get bigger than what it was because they only fit a niche audience. There's no storyline you can write. There's no wrestler you can hire. There's no production person in the back. There's no camera trick you're going to do that's going to change the perception.
So let me throw something else at you then. It's not going to happen. Let me just preface this by saying it's not going to happen. But a lot of people have mentioned, what if this happened? So what if Vince McMahon bought him out? and brought Shane in with him, and Vince and Shane trying to run that company.
You're
Trying
gonna
to
get
do
the
so.
same. You're gonna get the same thing you're gonna get the same thing that happened when Rob brought up when Hogan went to TNA and went head to head with WWE. Everybody's gonna tune into the first week or two
And then it's going to
to
shit
see what
itself.
happens, and then once they figure out what it is, look at. I'll give you. We can wrap it up because we've been over hour now.
Or an hour and 5.
Fun
It's
show,
it's
though.
it's it's the same thing with the Vince when we talk about Vince McMahon. Everybody wanted Vince McMahon gone. And this is and I'm talking about the fickleness of wrestling
Wrestling
fans.
So
fucking
this is why I
fans.
said it won't happen. This is why I say that, because nobody really wanted him anymore.
Everybody wanted him gone, and then he was gone, and then they shit on him for 6 months. Then everybody loved Triple H for 6 months, and he was the greatest. This is the greatest thing ever. And now, what have you been hearing for the last, I want to say, month or so, since these whole Vince McMahon rumors started? He was coming, he wants to buy it back. Which, stop with the bullshit. Vince McMahon, him being mad at Triple H, and that these people act like they sit at the dinner table with the McMahons or some shit, bro. Like,
They got Sunday dinner going on with them, right?
who is calling Dave Meltzer to tell? Better yet, who's calling Vince Russo or Jonathan Coachman and telling him, yeah, man, Vince is mad at his kids? Like, these people are not walking around. These people are not walking around telling their business, bro.
Yeah, I gotta have one last word on this. One last word on this, dude. Go to one of the highest grossing McDonald's restaurants, take their manager, and they go to Tom's Burger, a little diner, a little burger stand on the corner, and they go hire this McDonald's manager who like ran a $1 million store, right? And he walks in and they're like, okay, we've hired you now to churn our Tom's Burgers into McDonald's. And he's all like, well, I don't think I can. I don't have that kind of, you guys don't have the same backing as McDonald's. I mean, I can manage all you want, but you guys you don't have nothing for me to manage. They got to have something for him to do. There's got to be, you see what I'm saying? You can't take a genius and give him nothing that to build on and then expect him to produce $1 million McDonald's revenue that you could get with the back of McDonald's.
I get what Timmy Lee is saying. I get what he's saying. And
AEW's problem is Tony don't push big guys. Bobby Lashley should be moving.
See, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. That's the perception. Even if they did make Bobby Lashley the world heavyweight champion, right? Even if they did that,
TNA did, and it didn't do nothing for them per se, except made Bobby a bigger star.
This is a different. In all fairness, this is a different Bobby Lashley now. In all fairness, but if AEW were to make him champion and make him go bowl over everybody, like I said before, the perception is already out there. People are like, oh, cool, Bobby Lashley's champion, but I'm still not watching it because the rest of the show sucks.
Yeah, they can have one. They can have 5. I'm gonna give them 10% of their show is gold. The other 90% sucks cock.
If they manage to get rid of the Young Bucks completely, run them out of the company. Run them out of the company.
Married people will understand this when I'm about to say this. Married guys will get it. This is AEW's point. This is what AEW has become now, right? Everybody loved it. You know, when you first got together with your wife, before y'all got married,
I already knew where you were going with it.
Y'all were doing it in bathrooms. Y'all would, everywhere y'all were sneaking quickies all over the place.
It was all new.
Then, we had the first pay-per-view, which was the wed, and everything went good. And then you had the pay-per-view after that. That was the honeymoon, and boom, boom, boom. And here we are 6 years later, and making Bobby Lashley the champion is the equivalent of at least she still gives me a blowjob.
I like that analogy.
That's the equivalent of making Bobby.
Before we go, I want to say one last thing, and then I'm not going to say nothing else about it. Okay, I'll never say never because I thought that TNA was done for. I thought they were finished. I thought they were just bankrupt. They were never coming back. And then now they seem to have bounced back to where they're somewhat likable again. And so
TNA is the bug. Is a termite infestation of the wrestling business. Right? You think you got rid of them all, but they
He
keep
said they're
coming
the
back.
he
You know
said they're
what,
the roach.
They're the road.
the
You think you
people
killed
that
them all,
own
but
it,
they keep coming back, bro. Once
the
you got
people
one,
that
you got them all.
you
You
don't
stop
want
out.
to. You can be what you are, and the thing is to know what you are. TNA opened their eyes, realized what they were,
You know
realized,
what TNA stopped doing? They stopped talking like they were equivalent to WWE. They
yeah,
stopped it.
And that's
and
why
they
I said TNA did it. I'll never say never. If TNA could do it, any other company could be able to do it too. So
But here's
only
the,
through WWE though. I mean, they've been in a partnership with WWE for a very long time now.
here's the thing though. Here's what nobody wants to admit, bro. And is we keep saying it, but nobody wants to admit it. And it's staring us right in the face. There's too much it's too many wrestling companies, bro. Let the indies be the indies. Go support your local indies. Go watch them. Go enjoy yourself because indie shows, depending on what part of the country you're in, are fun. We need indies.
you've practically got three big
we
companies right now.
We got three big companies.
You got one.
You got one big company. Here's the thing.
And you
Well,
got
you know
another-
what I'm trying to say though. You got three well-known companies in three major companies.
Three companies on TV.
But you got to look at it even better. You got one big company, which is WWE, the biggest company, and TNA is a big part of that. So you got basically one big company, and then you got AEW.
No, TNA is still a separate entity.
I don't know what they're.
They didn't buy them out.
They don't own TNA. They just have a working business.
Didn't an NXT guy just win the?
Trick Williams
but
they don't.
Champion. An NXT wrestler is the TNA champion. That tells me you don't have to say that
they don't own the company, but they're trying their best. They're trying their best to push that company.
Yeah, they're working. They're in the umbrella. They got a working relationship with them.
Just like AAA. They don't own TNA, but they're very influencing.
But they own AAA though. It's a
partnership with TNA.
So let me give you another example of that. Jerry Lawler was not a property of the AWA. They had a working relationship with the USWA. He beats Kurt Hennig for the championship. Now he's the AWA champion, but he's in Memphis at USWA.
Well, both those companies don't exist anymore. So
it's the same. It's the same principle, though. I mean,
it's the same. I get what you're saying. It's the same, but here's the difference, though.
AWA ain't
back then you had one person owning one person owned the territories, right?
Yeah.
Now WWE is not owned by a person; it's owned by a company. TNA is not owned by one person; it's owned by a company. Only wrestling promotion owned by a person is AEW, and that's where things are flipped. It used to be, this guy works with this guy, works with this guy. Now you got two companies. You have a conglomeration. You have umbrellas. Tony's the odd man out.
Yeah, I know we're about to go. So maybe this can be food for thought for the next week. But I've been hearing some, you hear stupid things on the internet, and somebody said that shit, can't remember it. What I was gonna say. I'm not even high. I'm getting old.
I mean, I fucking
wait till next week on this one.
I get what you're saying, Timothy. I get what you're saying, but at this point, like I said, the perception, it don't matter. They can start pushing Buddy Matthews. I don't know why I call him Buddy Lee. Start pushing Buddy Matthews. They can stop what is his name? Bobby Lashley. They can give Bobby Lashley the title. They can push Warlow. They can push Hobbs. They can all these big guys they got. They can flip that, and it'll be cool for about 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, look at it, Ray.
But the perception of people are still looking at it like this is AEW. This is what AEW is. It's not going to get past this. We've seen the best AEW has to offer.
Bobby Lashley's been WWE World Champion. He's held the gold, and the company didn't. He dropped it very relatively quickly because the WWE didn't see him as the flagship flag bearer for the show.
It's a different business.
They're going to do by putting a AEW title on him? That's going to somehow make him better than he would have done in WWE with it.
I mean, we can keep having this conversation for the next 2 hours, but
for the next till the end of time. But no, good food for thought, dude. Good food for thought, though.
It's good. It's good for you to join us, Mr. Cutthroat. Glad to have you back, man.
Dude, I'm serious. This summer for me, dude, as my work is crazy, and I
thought we was going to put a bolo out for you.
I have a lot of employees who wake up at they don't even have to be to work till 10:30 in the morning, but they wake up with sniffles and they can't come to work. Yeah.
Fire that ass. That's what you do.
You know,
trust me, the way the economy is now, I would say you have a lot of certain people out the door, but they might be.
No, I love these. I love our.
Tell them there's always Walmart.
I love our conversations, and I'm gonna promise you guys, any night I can be here. On Saturday nights. There's no place I'd rather be in the world.
Oh, well,
with you fucking with Ray and with you two doofuses, and one of the doofuses isn't Ray.
So you calling me a doofus now on the way out the door?
Timmy Lee. I don't know him, but I think I like him.
God, Timmy Lee, be careful what you ask for, bro. I'm telling you.
Timmy Lee, you just said I happened to stumble on the show.
Yeah, there you go. See, before we go, Timmy Lee, how did you happen to stumble upon us here today?
Yeah,
how did
how did you find this? Tripped over my dick.
Jesus Christ, Rob!
How do you trip over
something
so small?
I knew I should have hit the intro button 5 minutes ago.
How do you trip over something so small like that? Come on.
Nah, man.
No. In all seriousness, though, how did you find us? We'd really like to know, because he does live. Well, we do live every week. So, were you looking for wrestling in general? How did you find us?
It's like for the last
shout out, man. Like and share and all that shit.
For the last 3 or 4 weeks, Chris, we've been getting people just randomly finding us and enjoying, having fun in the chat.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering.
It came up on his feed. Okay. So
awesome.
we get,
nice.
YouTube was pushing us. We hitting the algorithms. That's good.
That's good.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Timmy Lee. Come back next week. We'll be back next Saturday. Well, wait a minute. What's
next Saturday?
Next Saturday's Money in the Bank.
Fuck yeah.
Are we gonna do another live watch or something? Or
I would love to do one with you, but I just saying I get off work on Saturday nights at 6:30, and by the time I get home, it's like I get home and I usually get to be able to catch the last 5 minutes. But I'll jump on with you guys if you guys are on.
Appreciate you, Timmy. Thanks for subscribing, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We here, man. We're not in the wrestling business, but we think we like to think we know about what we know about. So
I consider myself a doctor in professional wrestling, but I'm actually probably a nurse practitioner.
And I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express one time, so I just fit in somewhere. Hey, don't forget, everybody, we got a Discord channel out there as well.
Yeah, the link is in the description. The link is in the description. So
we have good times on the Discord channel. We try to, and then we do some live watches sometimes. It just depends on
what it is.
Yeah, we had a great. I'd say we had there was I don't know how many people were on with us, but dude, WrestleMania weekend that was the funnest WrestleMania weekend I ever had, and I had requested that weekend off. That's why I usually don't get Saturday nights off. I loved having that interaction with you guys.
With that being said, we'll try to get a quick preview show up on Friday, and then we'll do the watch along on Saturday. So hit the link,
and I'll jump in even if I'm at work for a minute. I'll jump in some.
The link to the Discord is in the description. So again, thanks Timothy and everybody else for watching. Like a friend, subscribe, hit the notifications. But I hate saying that. I hate saying that. But I prefer to say tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this here show. With that being said, I am MrKS. That is Robbie Cutthroat. That is Chris. This is FRW Wrestling Podcast. We out.